What's up, gang? Ooh, ah. Dude, I just realized I sales coffee 2 minutes ago. I thought this whole time we weren't doing it because I said that.
Yeah, why don't we just
Oh
get
man.
on the phone?
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm
That's what I'm saying. You don't want to hear me steam my pink shirt. I'm just kidding. Make a quick one. Is there, you would have the, do we have the, can you post a link in Groovy? Let's go, I'll put it right here. Yeah, put it right here. If you want to post it in the group, and then, if you can, hey,
Am I,
just talk?
yeah, okay, I didn't know if you wanted me to.
No, you don't,
Yeah,
no, I just do it for make calls. You guys just real quick. Yeah. Make it quicker. And then, yeah, post the link, and then, what's that link? Is that voice? No, you're good. Do what you want. And then, oh, the microphone. Is there, the microphone out here, brother?
You know what? I think what's his name?
What's up?
I think Tommy's using it.
Okay. As long as they can hear me, as long as they can see me, the side angle right here. It's gonna be mindset. 15 minutes of mindset, baby. No. Better than anything else. Hey.
Oh, you got a camera now, okay.
We got a couple, 3, 4, no, just kidding. All right.
Second.
Do you go over the difference between whole life and term, Gio?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Do you do that in meeting today?
From home. Do you want me to? I was gonna make it 10 minutes on mindset. Okay, so what do you, but if you want me to. Please, yes, you can.
Do you guys,
They all use the whiteboard in here.
Yeah, everybody here does. You use the whiteboard. Yeah. You draw the difference between one and her, the whiteboard.
In person, I use my notebook. I
You
get.
don't bring the whiteboard?
Yeah, I got, just bring like a construction, you buy white paper at Target.
They use like body paint.
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah,
But yeah,
basically
they all do
construction
it.
paper.
This thing is term.
This is
university.
Is it university?
Yeah.
so, let me go over like 2 minutes of that and I'll pass it on. Okay. So I want to do something. I don't think we're gonna do this. Let's just, can you lift that cord up and bring it over there and put it on, it'll be quick. And I'll slide it right back.
Yeah, very sure.
I just met with a guy.
Well, if you wanna maybe revamp the PowerPoint, you can, but I think it's easier to keep going PowerPoint
Yeah.
rather.
If you can make, if you can make a PowerPoint or the drawing look like what I do, that'd be cool. You know, is this on? Can they see this?
You want white?
Yeah, I guess. I guess this is, I don't know.
Turn off the music.
Yeah, this is where.
oh,
There you go. Okay, is this on?
Hey, you guys switch.
Is the camera on?
Yep. Wait, nope.
No, it's not. You gotta switch the camera. All right, cameras up. Everybody can see, pretty much right in my face there. Can you guys hear it? Can you guys hear? Everybody hear it? Andres, we good? How about this mic? Is this mic good? Can you guys hear this mic? Put it on the gallery so we can see everybody. All right, I'm gonna go real quick and I'm gonna pass it back over to Gio. Rich, can you hear us, Rich? Okay, all right, Javon, we good? Okay, all right, so I just want to touch on, which is basic stuff, and I hope this isn't redundant or boring to you, okay? But the difference between whole life and term, right? So I just met with a client real quick, and I said to the guy, I said, so are you familiar with the different types of life insurances out there? There's all different types of life insurance, but it really boils down to like two. There's whole life and there's term. Are you familiar with whole life and term and the differences? And he was like, oh, I don't think I ever heard of a whole term life. Obviously, he didn't know what the differences for this. So I'll wait it out. So I said, this is what I would say to him. Okay, I'd say, okay, Joe. Well, there's basically two types of coverages. There's a whole bunch, but it really boils down to just two types of life insurance. The first type of life insurance is called term life. The way term life works is it covers you for a specific period of time. So you could have a term life policy that'll cover you for 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. And the key is, Joe, is if you have a term policy, let's say you have a 10-year term policy, that means that you're going to be covered from now until 10 years from now, okay? And you could use an example. Let's say you have a $100,000 term life policy that you got for a 10-year term. If you live 10 years in one day and then you pass away, what is going to get paid out to your family? Nothing, because you're only covered for what, Joe? Just those 10 years. That's right. And they're going to answer you. So you say, so for example, let's say I have a 10-year term, I'll be covered from year 1 all the way to when? Year 10. And then what happens is if I want to keep this coverage, I can keep the coverage for maybe another 10 years, but what's going to happen to the cost? The cost is going to go up, and then I'll have it for another 10 years. And then what's going to happen? And then, again, the cost is going to go up, but it's not going to go up the same amount because now I'm much older. It's going to go up even more. And then it keeps going up until you reach age 65 or age 70. Because what typically happens at age 65 or age 70 with most term policies is they terminate. That's what term is short for. Term is short for terminate. Okay, so the coverage will go away at that point. So a lot of people say to me, they say, so what happens to the money that I put into this policy? Because I pay all these years, and then if I live past 65 or 70, nothing gets paid out to the family, right? I say exactly, because what it was like for you, it was like renting or leasing coverage. See, term coverage is like leasing or renting coverage, okay? What happens at the end of a term of a lease? What happens when you're done renting something? What do you got to do? You got to give it back, right? So the way this coverage works, though, is the only way this coverage is going to pay out to your family is they call this the if coverage, because the only way this is going to pay out to your family is if you pass away within this period of time. That makes sense? So people say, well, where's my money going? I say, well, what's happened is every time you put money into your program, all the money that we're putting into, it's all going to pay for one thing. You're paying to have this cost, to pay for cost of insurance, to make sure this $100,000 gets paid out to your family. Okay, so this is like renting, leasing, right, all that. Now, the other type of coverage is called whole life coverage. Now, Joe, whole life insurance, this covers us for how long? Joe, Mary, how long? They'll always say it to you. your whole, exactly, your whole life. So what this means is no matter what, this will be in place forever. See, the term coverage only pays out if you pass away while the coverage is in place. The whole life coverage, they call this the when coverage, because no matter what, whenever we pass away, today, tomorrow, when you're 99 years old, you could be with your union, you could be not with your union. You can quit, get fired, retire. You could move to the other side of the country. You could be living in Alaska in an igloo. Wherever, however, whenever you pass away, this is guaranteed to be there forever because it covers us for our what? Our whole life. Now, the way this works though, is when you put money into our whole life policy, it's not like renting or leasing something. This is like owning something. So this is like if you rent a house or own a house. The difference when you own a house is you build equity into it, right? This thing builds cash value. So every time you put money into your whole life policy, part of the money still goes to pay for cost of insurance. But the other part of the money goes into what's called cash value for you and your family. And this cash that grows inside of your policy over time, it just grows. And with our company, it grows at a guaranteed 4.5% interest rate, which is amazing. And our members love this because if you went to the bank right now and you put your cash into the bank, our cash at the bank isn't growing at not even near what this is looking like, right? So this is like owning and building equity into your program versus, so now the difference is with whole life coverage, when you reach age 65, with term coverage, it typically goes away. With whole life coverage, it's going to be there forever. All the money that you put into the term coverage when you reach 65, the money that you put into your term, your whole life policy has built cash, right? So you have three different options when you reach 65 here. The first option, you can keep your program the same and do nothing with it. Just keep paying the monthly premium, and the death benefit of $100,000 gets guaranteed to pay to your family. The second option you have is you can actually take your cash value and access that. Now, let's say when you reach 65, you have $30,000 of cash value inside your program. And you're 65 and you say, you know what? I want to take that and go on a big vacation, buy a boat, buy a motorcycle. You can take this $30,000, do whatever you want with it. Go on a trip around the world. When you pass away, your family is going to receive the $100,000 minus anything that you've taken out. So they would get what? They get 70 in that situation. And then the third option you have is you can say, you want to know what, I'm 65, my bills, I don't want to have any more bills. I just don't want to pay for this anymore. So you know what you could do? You can say, I'm done. I don't want to pay for this ever again. You never pay another nickel, and your family will get a guaranteed $74,000 paid out to them. And at that point, for you, Joe, in your situation, for a $100,000 policy, if you look for most of them, I'll do the back on it too. But this is just me breaking down the whole life in term. This is not going into numbers. But on a side note, guys, if you want to show them, this is real easy. You show them a $100,000 policy, someone in their 30s, $100,000 policy, they're probably going to put in $35,000 from till they reach age 65. So how much money do they put in? $35,000. What's your cash value? Probably right around $35,000. What's your paid up option? Probably around $75,000. How can you not sell that?
No way.
You put 35, your family gets what? All right, here, you want to see how the rich get rich? Let me just, is everybody good on this? This is how I explain whole life in term. This is how I explain. I've been explaining to you like forever. This is how I've always been doing it. And it makes sense. You use analogies, like you just use the go back and forth on this and this and this and this. So that's the difference between whole life and term. That's how I've been explaining it to you forever. Don't confuse your clients. Keep it simple. And if you do a drawing or something, draw it something like this, a little bit. But all right, last thing, and I'll get out of here, okay? Is this. All right, so I got someone who's really rich, person's wealthy, right? And they're like, man, I want to pass my wealth on to the next generation. So they're like, I want to leave my family, I want to leave my grandson with $75,000, right? So how much money do I have to save up in order to give my family $75,000? I'm gonna have to have $75,000 saved up, right? But then when I pass away, if I leave them with 75,000, doesn't have to go through like inheritance taxes and probate and all that stuff. So how much are they really gonna get? So in order for me to leave my family with 75,000, how much do I really need to save up?
100,000.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have $100,000 saved up because 25% of it's gonna get eaten up through what? Taxes. So I'm like, dude, I wanna give 100,000, I wanna leave money to my family. I wanna leave 75,000 to my family, but that means I have to save up 100,000 in order to leave them 75,000, right? The rich are like, that's dumb. Wealthy people are like, that's dumb. Why would I save up 100 to leave 75? Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Save up 100 to leave 75. I said, why would I do that when I could save up 35 to leave 75? What would you rather do? Would you rather save up 35? Look, check this out. You take a $100,000 whole life policy. It's going to take from 35 to 65. You're going to put into this thing $35,000 of your own money. When you reach age 65, you're going to take a paid up option of $75,000, never pay another nickel again. So you put in how much? 35,000. You put in 35,000, okay? And then what's your family get? 75,000, taxable or tax-free? Tax-free. So when they get 75,000, do they get 70? They get 75,000. Now, you over here want to leave your family with 75,000, so you got to save up 100,000, right? So you start doing that. Well, check this out. This person is paying, what's this 35? This guy's paying $100 a month in order to get his 35 saved up. In order to save your 100, you're going to have to save $300 a month. On top of that, you save $300 a month for 2 years. So what did you save? 36 times 2, you save $7,200 over 2 years, right? I set aside $100 a month for 2 years, right? So what I set aside? I set aside $2,400. Me and you pass away. What's your family get? $7,200. And what did it cost you? $7,200. I pass away. What's my family get? 100,000. What did it cost me? Whoa! Anybody with me today?
Yeah.
We need to get in front of people and we need to educate them. But we have to do a little bit of passion, a little bit of energy too. You can't be boring. They ain't gonna buy it. People don't pay for average. They don't pay for average. You gotta be something extra. You gotta bring it. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, that's all I got for us. Hopefully this was enlightening, helped you out a little bit, and then let's pass it over to Gio.
Let's give it up for Tommy. Come on. I'm always giving sauce. See, people don't think like that though. People don't think about what he just said, right?
Where you want to go back up there? You stay here because then you can see everybody.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Plus, you know, yeah.
Cool.
Cool. We're good. And then I'm gonna move this a little bit. Put this like right here. Just so I can look at my nose a little bit.
You need anything else?
Oh, no, I should go. Thank you, brother. All right, appreciate you. Good stuff. All right, so perfect, guys. So let me back this up a little bit, and I just want you guys to, hopefully you can hear me, right? Can you guys hear me? All right, so I love when Tommy, you see at the end, I was more fired up when Tommy was getting a little bit angry at the end. That's the way I've been coached my whole life. Playing sports in this business, I've always been coached in a manner where, like, if someone's not getting fired up, it doesn't hit me the same. Someone's got to be fired up for me to get fired up, right? Let yourself on fire to let other people on fire. So today, when I'm talking about mindset, I just want you to kind of creep a little bit into the way I think and what I believe it's going to take to be great in this business and the way I was coached in this business. Permission to be real with everybody. No, I'm not going to hurt anybody's feelings, right? Permission to be real. All right. Because real recognizes real, right? So when I see people up here getting really passionate and getting real, dude, it hits me, right? It hits me hard. So I'm going to be real with you guys. And, I'm not trying to offend anybody, not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but this is the shit it takes to be great. You want to be a champion, right? You want to be the all-star quarterback, right? You want to be the freaking champ, dude. You're going to have to sacrifice, right? So some of us, right? Some of us, I'm just going to review my notes so I don't get on a side tangent. And this was just on my heart, especially after having the biggest freaking week of our career. Some of us are being passive as hell. Some of us are being passive. All right? We're letting people walk all over us in the home. Right? One thing I can coach is in the close to be proactive and beat them. I'll coach that all the time, to be proactive, right? But I have to. When I start a workshop, I have to talk about mindset. I have to, because 80% of this deal is mindset. The other 20% is the product knowledge. Dude, you can say things in not even the most ideal way. If you just say it with passion and energy, they're going to buy from you. What is your attitude? That's the first thing. What is your attitude? The second thing is, what is your mindset? You have a choice. You have a decision. You can decide to either be positive or negative. The opposite of positive is negative. So you have a choice. You have a decision. When you walk in here and your day is not going the way it's supposed to be going, like this morning, spilled my protein shake, hit my foot in the door. I go to put my socks on, right? And there was a bunch of hair. You ever see those hair clumps? It was in my sock. I started to get really upset and mad. I started to realize these are minor inconveniences. What was happening was the day was trying to attack me, and I wasn't going to let it attack me because we have to attack the day. I started to laugh about it. I told my team about it, right? I told you guys a little bit about it. And I started to realize that these are so minor. And sometimes what happens is we let these things attack our day and ruin our day that are super minor, right? Listen, I might only get to, there's probably 10 people on the call, 15 people on the call. I might get to 2 of you, okay? And that's okay. But some of us are going through some stuff right now. Some of us are going through obstacles. Some of us are going through breakups. Some of us are going through maybe even some life, like family sicknesses and things of that sort, guys. Some of us might have lost our home recently, right? I don't know what everybody's going through. I know that, but I do know this. But when you're achieving high-level things, higher the level, higher the devil. You're going to go through stuff. Higher the level, higher the devil. You're going to go through your own complications. Everybody has their own situations and complications. It's part of the process. The difference between successful people is how you handle it. It's how you respond. It's not what happens to you. It's how you respond. 90% of what happens is really how you respond. You got to be like a bouncy ball. You ever get a bouncy ball, right? And, you throw it. You drop it, it bounces a little bit, right? What happens though, when you try to give that bouncy ball all you got, you literally, bam, what happens? It bounces even higher. You know why? Because you got to be like a bouncy ball. When you get hit with adversity, you can't crumble. You can't stop. You got to bounce even higher. Okay, you with me? So how are you gonna handle this stuff? This isn't small to me. I want you to know this, just to go into my mind real quick. This shit is not small for me, and it shouldn't be small for you, okay? If this is not where you want to be, don't when you guys aren't where you want to be, that shit bothers me. Okay, when you guys don't get the success that you deserve, that shit bothers me. Okay, but if I don't get the success that I need or I want or I feel I should get, I don't come in here moping around robbing people of their dreams. I'd be robbing Man Reed of his dreams. That's why it goes so importantly with our positive mindset. I'd be robbing Alex of his dreams, right? So you have to come in here with a super positive mindset. We can't be robbing people of their dreams. It's actually selfish of me to come in here and have a negative mindset. It's selfish, okay? I have to suck it up. I have to suck it up. Sometimes I'm gonna have to suck it up. There's some shit, right? Maybe there's a meeting I don't want to attend. Maybe there's a workshop I don't want to attend because I'm having a bad day. You gotta attend that stuff. No weak ass excuses. This is no excuses here. No excuses whatsoever. No more of them. I don't want to hear a single excuse. There's no excuses. Okay? No excuses. So this is a quote, hit me really hard. If you settle for second place when first place is available, you'll always do it for the rest of your life. So if you settle for second place, when you know first place is available, you'll do it for the rest of your life. That's what we're going to end up doing for the rest of our life. If you know that first place is available, right, you got to go for first place, right? You have to. It's about winning. It's that winning mentality. You got to love the game. Like Michael Jordan, he just loved the game, right? I remember I was reading up on Michael Jordan, and it's crazy. His mindset's just amazing. You know, he would never go to a game unless he was dressed perfectly, and his car, it didn't matter if it was raining. The car that was going to the place was always cleaned. Because he said, there's someone out there, and I have to play. And what he would say is, I have to play and give it all I got every single time. And he said, there's somebody out there in the crowd that has never been to a Bulls game ever in their entire lives. Their first experience of that game has to be perfect. Their first impression, you can never have a second first impression. It had to be perfect, right? You know what it made me think of? When I was really, you guys see me write 12K. I'm talking about when I was writing 30K, like consistently a week. Dude, anytime someone entered into the group me, dude, I got so nervous. I'm like, oh, I got to bring the show. I got to show them. And this is my mentality. I had to show them who the best was. That's just my mentality. And you guys should think the same. You guys, we're not coming here to be average. We're allergic to average. We're coming here to be the best. Okay? We should have hit that 200K. I don't care what anybody says. You guys are a 200K squad. We're not a 150K squad. Some of you guys, just being real with you, didn't even come to play. Some of our top leaders in the organization wrote less than $8,000. When you're a top leader, you write 8,000 or bust. 8,000 or bust, dude. 8,000 is not. I mean, you got 7 days. That's like 1,000 a day. It's not a lot of business, right? 1,000 a day. Does anybody think they couldn't do 1,000 a day? Truthfully, you think that's a lot of business? No. You got Pat Sullivan. You got Stephen Ellis. You got Matt Brown. Very talented individuals that I know you can get 3 sits, 1 sale for 1,000 ALP. That's somebody paying $20 a week. $20 a week. When do you know they're going to allocate their money in areas they think are more important? They're going to try and spend money on, no offense to anybody smokes, but spend money on cigarettes, right? Spend money on going out to eat. Spend money on this, that, and another. It's not more important, okay? My job is to make you guys progress, to get to your potential. That's my job. I don't want you to think small or average. You got to suck it up. If you want greatness, get ready and deal with a lot of bullshit. Adversity, you're gonna deal with it. The higher you climb, the more adversity you're gonna deal with. If someone wants small, minute, let's hug, let's kiss, right? Get out of the office. Let's hug, let's kiss, and let's go our separate ways. That's the way I was coached. You want average, it's just not for you. This place isn't average, right? We need you to pump it up. We need you to max out. We need you to max out. It's like playing for the winning team, and I don't understand it. Sometimes Monday and Thursday, we should make 150, 250 calls. I know the neighboring agents and the neighbors are getting 60 hires a week. They're on their way to writing $400,000 a week. What do they got that we don't? Because I know they don't have Dalton Pritt, right? They don't have Brian. They don't have you guys. That's what I mean. I think you're more talented. I think you're a lot more talented, but they're doing more because I think they're more disciplined. Just being real. I think they're more disciplined. They actually call at 8 in the morning. Some of them are calling at 7 in the morning. Believe it or not, right? We got to call at 8. If you're here, you got to work when you're here. You can, dude, after 9, go do whatever you want with each other. Okay? But once 8 a.m. hits, you got to be calm. And time is going to keep going on. Like I said before, time is freaking arrogant. It's going to keep going on and on and on. It doesn't give a crap about what's going on in life. Okay? It's all in or all out. Imagine trying to play football. Who played football in here? Who played football? Do you know the times that you get hurt is when you're going 80%, right? When you go 90%, when you hesitate, that's when you get hurt in football. Same thing in this business. Try giving this 90%, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt. You got to go 110%, lay it out all on the field. You can't go 70, 80%. It just can't happen. You give this deal even 99%, it's going to give you 0 right back. You have to give it 110%. It's like when you're at the end zone and you stop right before the end zone. You got to go through that shit, right? Like I said, if you want to be a starting quarterback for a football team, if you want to be on a play in Broadway in New York, it doesn't matter what it is. This isn't AIL, dude. This is life. This is anything. You want to be great at anything, you're going to go through the obstacles. You're going to have to go through some shit. Okay? Leaving early. People leaving early. It's 9 o'clock and we're leaving. You saw my ass, been here 5.5 years. Where was I Sunday night? I was the last one to leave. How am I the last? Sheila, you saw me. Who was the last one to leave? How am I 5.5 years in and I'm the last one to leave on a Sunday? Dude, I'm the RGA. I can go sit on my high horse and go do whatever the hell we want and go on vacation and go to Italy. But I'm here till 10 o'clock, 10:30, whatever time it was. Might have even been 11:30. I don't even know. But I know it's late as shit on a Sunday. How is that possible? And I'm not saying this to brag or boast about myself because there's nothing special about me. Anybody can work hard. That's all that's the only, if I have one thing, because I've always been the underdog, just like Tommy said, if I have one thing, it's some freaking hard ass work ethic, right? Some people showing up late to the 8 a.m. pump up call. Do you really want it or do you just kind of want it? Do you want sleep more than you want success? Do you want to party more than you want success, or do you actually want success? Because don't sell the bullshit to us that you are trying to sell yourself. It's more important to sell yourself on this, guys. Forget about the partying. Forget about the drinking. Forget about all the bullshit. That stuff is going to be there. You know, I sacrificed it for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever. And I swear to you, I went back to my friends, right? I thought I was missing out. Friday night, oh, I'm out there grinding. Saturday night, out there grinding. I go back to my friends 4 years later. They're still chasing the same girls. They're still drinking the same beers they were drinking 4 years ago. They're still at the same bars that they were 4 years ago. And guess what? You guys, light years ahead of them. Nothing wrong. God has a different plan for them. Okay? I mean, shit, I tried to recruit most of those people to the business, right? I promise. I want them to work here. I want them to have what we got, right? But I promise you, you're not missing shit. I promise you. And you know what? I don't want to party and go get VIP on the weekend and have 6 people there. You know what I want to do? I want to rent out the whole club in Vegas and have all of us there and party like we've never partied before in our entire life. That's how you do it. You don't just, oh yeah, let's go to the bar on the weekend, spend a couple hours and waste a bunch of time and money. Unless you're recruiting. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it big when I do it, right? I'm not just going to buy a kind of nice car right now. No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to buy a freaking Lambo, right? That's what you guys are going to do. You need to, like, I want the best everything. I want the best girlfriend, best car, best house, best this. And you know what? You deserve the best too. There's no scarcity of the best cars, right? There's no scarcity of money. There's no scarcity of that stuff. You guys deserve the absolute best out there. The absolute best. You deserve what you want. But it has to correlate with your work ethic. You can't say you want a Lambo and you're showing up at 11. It just can't happen. Early bird gets the Lambo, right? You have to be willing to do whatever it takes to get to the next level. You have to, okay? No one's settling for average. I don't think anybody pays for average. It's just not what we want in this agency, okay? Not what we want, okay? If you do everything you got and then some, and they don't buy, well, shame on them, okay? But if you don't know your script, and we're fumbling over things, right? And we're getting beat on silly things, then shame on us. We should have known our script better, right? If you give it all you got, you're literally obsessed. That's what it's going to take, obsession. It's going to take obsession. Remember, it's not what you do from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. What? It's what you do from what?
9 p.m.
9 p.m. to 9 p.m. 9 p.m. to 9 a.m., right? So you got to be obsessed with this. You got to be practicing constantly, right? Just like Kobe Bryant, just like Michael Jordan, right? What were they? They were literally on the courts. People would show up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and they thought that they were early, and he was already getting sweated, was already there for an hour, right? So that's going to be you. I don't see why are people here at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. practicing their script? I don't understand it. Why would people leave at 9 o'clock? If that's what I'm saying. If I'm here on Sunday at 10 o'clock, I've already been the top producer. I'm the #1 RGA team. That's because you guys. Why though? You know why? It's because when you're competitive, the shit never leaves you. When you have a winning mentality, it never leaves you. It never leaves you. Dude, when I'm on vacation, I don't even enjoy the vacation because I'm thinking about work. A little obsessed, right? But that's what it's going to take. Obsession in the right context is what it's going to take. And I promise you guys, trust me, if I want to go take a trip for a month, I could do that stuff. But we're not where we need to be. We by no means are having any issues. We're the #1 RGA team in the world right now. We're not having any problems. Okay? But we're not where we need to be. I don't think Steven's where he needs to be. I think he should be an MGA by the end of the year. But the only way that's going to happen if my ass is leading by example and staying here until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, then he's going to know what's possible. So you have to lead yourself first before you lead others. You have to lead yourself first. Okay? And the only time, and I'll end on this, guys, just for lack of time. The only time that you feel pressure is something that happens when you are not prepared. Pressure is something that happens when you're not prepared. The only reason why you're going to be nervous, and you asked Michael Jordan, right? I don't know if you'll be able to get an interview with him anytime soon, but what I will tell you is if you listen to the videos I posted in the group me, one of the things he had mentioned, right, was they said, do you get nervous for games? And what did he say? He said, of course, you know, I get a little a little, I get excited. I think if you don't get excited, maybe you don't care as much. So same this day, I do the same thing. I still get a little bit because I'm excited, I'm nervous. I'm like, ooh, I care. You know, I want to make sure it goes right, especially if someone's watching me. But you know what he said? He said he's never feels pressure or never feels nervous because he knows he did the work to be able to get where he's at. And he believes in his skills and his ability and all that he's put into it. So he believes in himself. So it goes with this quote, pressure is something that happens when you are not prepared. He's prepared every game. He's prepared. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm not looking to motivate either. I'm looking to make sure that our mindset is correct. Making sure that we are inspired by this stuff. Okay? I don't feel like, do you feel pressure when someone asks you your name? Stephen, what's your last name? Huey. No pressure. Why? Because you've been saying it your whole life. Right? If I asked you the so basically paragraph might be a little different. I don't know. You might know it verbatim because I heard you were like the best in the script review that anybody's ever heard. So you probably do know it verbatim, but that's how everybody should know it. I should be like, all right, Jay Vaughn, let me hear you. I want to think about it. Hey, Matt Brown, I want to hear your intro. Hey, dude, just like you say your last name, right? You don't feel pressure when you ask that. So you need to take accountability and we need to be practicing like crazy. Okay. You know who taught me how to close? Guess who taught me how to close? Good guess. What do you think? Who taught me how to close? Me. I taught myself how to close. You know why? Because I wasn't relying on anybody else. No offense, Tommy's the best of the best. Simon's the best of the best, but I wasn't relying on the state director or my regional director to teach me how to close. I had to look and teach myself. I had to practice myself. I took accountability. Okay? And that's leadership right there. When you take accountability and realize that the mistakes and the issues and where we are at right now is because of us. Where you are at in your life is because of you. It's because of me. Any mistake I've ever made, any relationship breakup, it's my fault. It's not her fault, right? Anything that happened in a family argument, anything that happened in this business is freaking my fault, dude. If I'm at a red light and I'm sitting there stopped, just sitting there like this, and someone hits me from behind, I'm just at a red light stopped. He hits me from behind. You know what's crazy? Whose fault is that? It's really his fault. But you know what I would say? It's my fault. Should have left earlier. You see what I'm saying? Always take accountability in anything that goes on in life. Because you'll start to lead yourself. And when you start to lead yourself, that's how you're going to be able to lead others. That's where it goes back to what I said in the beginning. No excuse, no bullshit. No excuses. Dude, nobody likes excuses. You either make it happen or you make an excuse, but you can't have both in the same sentence. It's one or the other. So no matter what goes on, right? If you're late for a meeting, should have left earlier. If you didn't get the ALP that you needed, you should have roll more referrals. Success is a bad teacher. Success is very dangerous. When people get a success all the time, right? You're winning all the time. When do you learn and win? You learn from your failures, right? Failure is great. Embrace the failure because you're able to go back, reevaluate the situation, and approach it differently than you would have last time. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So failure allows you to kind of reevaluate, absorb the information, and learn from the mistakes that we made. Remember, and I'll end on this. Smart people, they learn from their own mistakes. Okay? Wise people, they learn from other people's mistakes. Okay? Learn from mine, learn from Tommy's, learn from Simon's, learn from our mistakes. You guys are going to make mistakes. I'll tell you, don't sit with just the husband. I'll tell you in training, I'll show you, I'll tell you, and then you know what you're going to do? You're going to go do one thing. And you're going to have to learn for yourself sometimes. But remember, if you're wise, you'll learn from other people's mistakes. Okay, so remember, guys, 80% of what we do is mindset. Let's make sure that our mindset is correct, because when your mindset is right, your grind set is right, right? Appreciate your time. Love being real with you guys. I want to be real with you guys so that you guys can be real with your people. And literally, everybody wants to be a diamond, but nobody wants to get cut. Sometimes we're going to have to get cut sometimes. Okay, no pressure, no diamond. We got to put the pressure on you guys a little bit, and then on the system. Okay, all right, guys, appreciate your time. Let's freaking get it. Oh, let's go.